From the underground to the mainstream, South Africa has one of the most unique house scenes in the world. This is evident when you look at the shadow influence that is cast over international markets, particularly when it comes to Afro House and Deep House. Names such as Kid Funk, Julian Gomes, and Dawson should ring a bell by now if we're talking about the state of house in our country. Although what these artists have in common, along with Eugene Blackrock and Nonku Piri, is a strong creative relationship with one of the most distinct voices coming from SA right now. I'm talking about singer, songwriter, poet, and storyteller, CEO. You're probably wondering to yourself why I started talking about house music. Well, that was her gateway into the scene and into the ears and hearts of many. Her journey with music began in childhood when she was frequently involved with the choir, and in high school she was also a goalkeeper. But not just that, she also started with poetry, and it was during this time where she would cultivate her unique style of songwriting. Have you ever come across the name Andy Compton? Well, believe it or not, her first release was a 5-track EP which dropped under Peng, a widely celebrated record label based in the UK run by the legend Andy Compton. In her catalogue, you'll find 800 Minutes and her recently released album called Subtext. Within a couple of weeks after its release, she was already named iTunes Artist of the Month. That already tells you something. Something that is very special about this album is the fact that she heavily deviates from her house identity and explores a range of genres to the point where it's borderline experimental. Okay, I'm done with the overprating. Let's get into it. Whoa, okay. Before we continue, I do want to remind you guys to please subscribe. We're on a mission to enliven the state of music journalism here in our country, and your help would be fucking appreciated. Drop us a comment, let us know who you want to see, let us know what we're doing right, and let us know where we're fucking up. Guys, let's get into it.
Color the Small One by Sia. I was introduced to indie music with that album. Blew my mind. There's a song called Breathe Me. That the way she wrote was fresh to me because it speaks of being in pain, and she actually used the word ouch, and I've never heard somebody say ouch in a song. I was just like, who's that? She writes moving poetry that I can see, so I loved that about Color the Small One. It was moody. I like moody things. I was in an emo phase. 2 is Black Sands by Bonobo. That blew my mind. Okay, so Black Sands, really loved Black Sands. I was introduced to, the first song I heard of Black Sands was called Animals. It had movements. I was just like, it starts in one place, it goes to a second movement where it sounds like a completely different song, and then it goes to a third movement where it sounds like a completely different song, but it's all one. And you're just like, oh my gosh. Then I got the album, and it's another album that I can listen to from start to finish. It's beautiful. Sonically, it's beautiful, it's fresh, it's brave, and it lends itself to jazz. The vocalists he chose were also incredible. They've got unique, old and new sounding things about them. I think that's like a recurring thing with me. So people who sound kind of old but lend themselves to the future is beautiful. So loved that about Black Sands.
Sat down here with my head hung down, and I just see too fine.
Okay, my number one album is chosen because I am a storyteller, and this artist writes in such a way that bent my brain. She writes in a gritty, ugly, but beautiful way. So my number one album is Lungs by Florence and the Machine. There's a song called Blinding, and that song sold the album for me.
That it was you who held me under. Felt it in my fists, in my feet, in the hollows of my eyelids.
I may not even know the rest of the album, but that one song was just like, what? Who writes like that and it sounds so beautiful? She doesn't have an amazing voice. She throws it around like whatever, and I get it within context of the album that she was in pain, and that pain hit me. It resonates with me because I'm sad. And there's another one about sitting on the bottom of the ocean and just being drowned in it and just be like, I'd rather drown, bruh, than see you. I'm away. I'm good. So loved Lungs is my number one album.
It's always darkest before the dawn, and I've been a fool and I've been blind. I can never leave the past behind. I can see no way, I can see no way. I'm always dragging that horse around.
You know, something I picked up about Sia's album choices is the fact that they were all released within the 2010s. Sia is an incredible performer and musician. Bonobo, he is the king. And when you talk about Florence and the Machine, let's not even get into that because that's a whole different conversation, yo. And yeah, this is the end of the video. As many of you guys know, in the past we've shot at Soundcast Studios, we've shot at Radisson Red. In fact, we've even shot at friends' places back in the past. Today's episode, we were shooting at the wonderful Wonderland. Wonderland is one of the best clubs in Cape Town, and damn, when you walk into the upstairs floor, it literally feels as if you've like levitated into the 70s or 80s with the groovy aesthetic that's going on. So yeah, we've dropped a link down to their pages below so you can check out what events are coming up. I've been talking for a while, I'm hungry, it's hot out here, and we're about to go get some food. Guys, thank you so much for watching.